At least it is daytime, y'all. Mysteries of the Internet by Nick Crowley. This video was posted a month ago, although we still have not watched it. I hope y'all ready, bro. Get y'all snacks. Make sure you have your water, cause you got. Oh, hey, chill. See, I don't like that fucking music, bro. Chill out. Yeah, bro. Let's just get straight into it, bro. Chad's here with me, and hopefully we don't get too scared. Don't watch this at night either, bro. It's not truly scary, just a little creepy. Y'all seen this one? Let's see. A little fucking creepy. All right, let me show with the pause, cause this shit a little too long. But come on.
It's the 22nd of November, 2019. A Ring doorbell begins recording as a young girl approaches a home in the Harriet Creek Ranch neighborhood of Texas. It's pitch black out and the girl is seen all alone, which by itself is strange enough, but it's moments later that this footage becomes truly concerning.
She look. Please. Bitch, if you need help, go inside. You just open the door. Oh, hell no. Oh, there's like a double door.
Please help.
Yo, she actually sounds desperate, bro. This is not no acting.
She was begging for help, pounding her hand against the door, all the while continuously turning her head around, as if she was expecting someone to come up behind her. The footage then comes to an abrupt end.
Oh, hell no!
Only
hell
to start
no.
again seconds later.
Yo, see, no, hell no, bro. Yo, why it look like that? Yo.
Only to start again seconds later. But this entire
time... Man, it's
time...
2025! What is this shitty-ass camera?
No one answers that door. The wait was just too unbearable for the child, as she then took off.
Yeah, go to the next house! Next house, come on! I ain't gonna cap... Yo, are you opening the door for a little ass girl randomly? I'm not. Oh, okay, maybe I'll like peek through the window. Yo, what you need? Oh, you need some water? I got you. All right, that's it. I'm not. You want me to call the cops? Oh, I'll call the cops. You're not coming in my house though. I'm not opening my door, bro. Dog, I thought somebody was behind her. No, why her face look like that in the dark? I'm not opening the door to some random girl. That's gonna be a trap, bro. I still remember to this day, bro. My fault for pause, bro. There's only 2 minutes. I got a story, bro. I remember to this day, bro. I was on GTA. I was like 9 years old, bro. I don't know. It never happened ever again. I don't know why. That shit must have been like a 0.25% chance it happens. I was on GTA. I was playing, bro. Right? And boom, I go through this alleyway, and this girl was like asking for help. She's like, "Help me, please. Help me, please." Something I don't remember. Something happened. She led me through the alleyway. 2 dudes with guns pulled up. They killed my ass, bro. Like, yo, I gotta search that up one time on YouTube, bro. I gotta see what the fuck if that's real, bro. Cause that happened to me. I swear on my life, bro. I've never been the same, bro. Yeah, go to the next house, little girl. You're not coming to my house.
Yelling incoherently in the street before running out of view of the camera. Frustratingly, this footage was only viewed by the homeowner well after the fact, and reports seem to indicate that this was a property that they rented out rather than lived in, with it being unoccupied on that night.
Yeah,
but after seeing the video, the homeowner immediately contacted law enforcement and shared the video online in the hopes that more information would come forward, as it seems that neither they nor the police
he
had
knows
any idea who this
that
child
shit's creepy.
was,
Why are you
or
pausing
why
it
she
right
needed
there,
help.
bro?
But since these clips were first shared, these questions have still yet to be answered. At least publicly, as there have been no updates from law enforcement. Along with this, there have been no accounts from neighbors about the incident or any footage from other homes in the neighborhood, perhaps implying that this was her one and only stop of the night. It's like after this footage, this girl dropped off the face of the earth, with this entire situation being a mystery to this day, leaving us with only theories.
Yeah, that should be happening in real life.
The first and most popular theory is that this girl was an escaped victim of...
I feel like another theory is gonna be is fake, and there's people hiding in the background waiting to just fucking murk you, bro. Come into your house, take everything you got.
Kidnapping, or perhaps an abusive household, and had run to the closest home to ask for help. We've seen situations like this many times before, with the most popular example at the moment being the case of Ruby Frankie, whose son escaped their house and ran to their neighbor for help.
Escape? Bro, that nigga taking his sweet ass time, walking up in the... Why he walk up like that?
Ruby Frankie, whose son escaped their house and ran to their neighbor for help.
Wondering if you could do 2 favors, taking me to the nearest police station, possibly This one's fine.
This certainly falls in line with this girl's behavior, as she was clearly scared about someone or something following her, hence why she kept
there's
looking
nothing
back.
behind you, bro.
And given that there have been no updates to this case, and that seemingly no one else saw her that night, it would indicate that whoever she was running from had recaptured her shortly after. And what makes this theory even more horrifying is that many online users believe that this girl isn't the only person shown in this footage.
Alright, come on now. What are we doing? Bro, I swear to God, this is a 30-second clip. He's making it like, yo, there's nobody else in this.
Help, please.
As in the background, some can see what appears to be movement behind the bush, and potentially even a figure.
Oh, hell no. Bro, that's edited, bro.
Please help.
That's edited. And if so, if there's somebody behind that, we clearly know what's going on, bro. It's literally to go inside and kill you, bro. That's how the got hit on God, bro. Literally, I don't know what type of little daughter you got just to be doing this shit. You're weird for that, bro. You're weird. I didn't even catch that, bro. I kind of want to go back to the original clip. I didn't catch that.
Please help.
Bro, maybe it's just glitching,
And this just so
bro.
happens to be the direction that this girl is looking in every time she turns back, almost like she knew someone was hiding there.
Bro,
Which
we
brings
know.
us to our second theory.
Come on, tell me. This was a
That
setup.
this entire thing was a setup.
It was a setup.
The belief here is that this girl was coerced into going up to a stranger's home to beg for help, so that when this unsuspecting homeowner would open their door, those people who made the girl do this would then rush into
I'm
the
telling
home and
y'all,
rob
bro.
the
Yo,
person.
don't open doors for
This could
strangers,
explain
bro.
why she was looking at that bush so frequently, as that's where this person or these persons would have been hiding, and she was looking to them for guidance, perhaps unprepared
Knock
for the
again,
homeowner
knock
not
again.
to open their door.
Head ass, like, hell no, bro.
Both of these theories are disturbing in their own right, and both clearly indicate that this girl is in need of help, regardless of what the situation is. But still, there's been no
What y'all think,
confirmation
bro?
as to
It's
what
obviously
ever
theory
happened to
two.
this child,
It's obviously
even
theory
despite
two.
the public interest. One of the biggest talking points online came from some theorizing that this girl might be Serenity Denard, a then 9-year-old girl
Yo,
who had gone missing
I swear to God, y'all be reaching, bro. Oh my God, like what?
in February of 2019 from a children's facility in South Dakota, who looked eerily similar to the child shown in this video.
No, she don't.
But in my research, I was able to find a Facebook post from one of Serenity's mothers, who shared that they were in fact aware of the video, and that they had actually contacted law enforcement about it.
Yo,
And in her
what?
post, she claims that investigators told her that the girl had been identified at some point, and that she had lived in that neighborhood, with there being no further elaboration as to why she was asking for help. This is quite literally one of the only updates I was able to find, but unfortunately, it was one that I wasn't able to confirm, and it also fails to explain what exactly happened to this girl.
Yo, this dude do his research, bro.
Leaving this footage and this entire scenario as one of the many mysteries of the internet. Throughout my time here on YouTube, I've stumbled across some of the most frightening things on the internet, but one of the discoveries that scared me the most was my own personal information, just out there in the open.
Man, get your I mean, this is very helpful. I'm not gonna lie, this is very helpful. But hell no, this is not cool. My fault, we back.
Making private things like my phone number available for anyone to see, but luckily I was able to
Yo, I ain't gonna lie, y'all should invest in this. I did one time, but they low-key almost took $250 from me. I didn't try it ever again, but I'm gonna do this again. Yeah, this shit.
help of today's sponsor.
Talking about some year subscription, bro. I did not mean to click that shit. Why are you taking $250, bro? Hold on, now let's go.
At aura.com/nickcrowley, and in those 2
So
weeks,
they don't know the girl, bro.
you'll discover where your data is being exposed and sold. I'm not leaving myself vulnerable, and you shouldn't either.
Wait, they know who the girl is? Amsterdam.
It started with a police chase.
How is this gonna be?
An officer parked alongside a
Let's see,
highway
bro.
in North Amsterdam had
Yo,
witnessed
and
a
you,
black
oh, never mind. I'm tripping.
Mercedes speeding down the road and was now desperately trying to keep up with it. But the effort was to no avail, as the Mercedes would soon disappear from the officer's view. And when it would come back into view minutes later, it wasn't moving. It was instead left abandoned on the side of the road, the driver's side door hanging wide open, and the driver himself being nowhere to be seen, leaving that officer alone with the suspect's car,
Ew.
but no suspect.
Yo, that's creepy. That's actually
However,
creepy.
the vehicle hadn't been left
Yo, that's
entirely
creepy, bro.
empty, As in the driver's rush to flee the scene, he had accidentally left his cell phone behind, and so the contents of this phone would be searched, which quickly led to the discovery of this driver's identity. But for investigators, there was a far more pressing finding on that device. A finding in the form of a minute-long video stored on the man's camera roll that indicated that this driver may have been involved in a crime far worse than just speeding.
Oh, chill, bro.
The footage was taken inside a different vehicle and showed an unseen driver holding up his cell phone alongside another man in the passenger seat. The camera was focused on a car in front of them, with both men seeming intent on catching up with it, as in the moments before this recording started, something had happened between them, which the men inside this car felt they had to get revenge for.
He's making it 10 times scary. There's no fucking way, bro. There's no way, bro. Why does it sound like this?
They referred to this unseen
Nigga, they sound like Black Ops 3 zombies, bro.
As an act of brutality by a group of men in this other vehicle. And by the looks of it, it's likely that this car had simply cut them off, as there was a freshly closed lane in the stretch of road at the time, which created an unexpected merge. And this is most likely what this group inside this separate car thought too, as they were showing no signs of road rage, and were instead just casually driving with the flow of traffic. However, it's clear that the men behind the camera felt differently, as in their minds, what this other driver had done to them was so awful that it was worthy of only one punishment: death.
Oh yeah, they speaking a whole different language, bro. GG. Oh, why is the driver recording, bro? Pass it to the passenger, bro. That's Dutch.
And so this duo
Scary ass language,
closer and
bro.
closer to this anonymous
That's
car,
some scary
while
ass
continuing
language.
their rambling about this act of brutality. And when they finally positioned
Man, they bluffing, bro. They ain't doing shit.
themselves next to the vehicle,
They ain't doing shit, bro.
the man in the passenger seat brandished a pistol and pointed it directly at the driver of this vehicle.
Yo! Why that shit was so quick? What the?
Vehicle.
Boom! Damn!
The man in the passenger seat.
I know the video ain't end right there, bro.
Brandished a pistol
Come on.
and pointed it directly at the driver of this vehicle. The footage from here is incredibly shaky, and the window had been rolled down, causing the audio to peak and become distorted and indecipherable.
Bro, he's not shooting, bro. He's not shooting. He's just flashing the gun, bro. Like a fucking crackhead. He's not shooting.
It's hard to say for sure what happens next.
Nothing.
But it appears that the man holding the gun attempts to fire the weapon
Nothing
before
happened.
pulling it back into the car, cocking the revolver once more, and firing again.
He didn't shoot, bro. If he shot the woman or whoever the fuck driving, the car would have swerved, bro. I swear to God, there's some weirdos in the world, bro.
Which both men erupt
Yo,
with
there's
laughter
some
and begin
weirdos in the
celebrating
world, bro.
before the recording stops.
Laughing and shit. Like,
Based
the
on
fuck
the
is you
footage,
laughing
it's unclear
for?
what happened to the driver of this vehicle or the other occupants, and finding this information became priority 1 for law enforcement. In their research, they determined that this video was shot on May 12, 2014
Oh, no,
at
there's
around
more, bro.
9:40 p.m.
There's more.
One full month before they had stumbled upon it, and it had been taken on the A1
Oh, never
highway
mind.
near entrance 2101.
I thought these were like 3 different videos. Never mind.
And yet, when they checked their files to match this information with any of their cases, they realized that there was no record of this incident.
See, because no shootings happened.
Crime had never so much as been reported, despite it seeming to depict a shooting in the middle of a busy highway. To make matters more confusing, police were able to track down the men who took this video and carried out the actual attack, and yet neither of them claimed to know what happened to the people that they shot at, and both refused to elaborate any further, leaving investigators in a strange position. They had undeniable proof of a crime, one that at the very least was attempted murder, and they also had their suspects. They just didn't have any victims.
Bro, what?
And so they studied the footage even more, which is when they made
that's still a crime. I don't care, bro. Why are you flashing your gun at me? That's a crime.
revelation about these victims. Throughout the video, the perpetrators referred to the people within this car as a group of men. And while the footage we have today has the occupants' faces blurred, they were able to conclude that the driver was in fact a man. However, they discovered that the passenger next to him is clearly a woman wearing a headscarf. And most shocking of all, in the backseat was what appeared to be...
How do you catch that?
A child. Meaning that they had been shooting at what, in all likelihood, was a family.
A family?
Police released this video to the public later that year under the name Amsterdam Sheet Incident Ringway A10, or Amsterdam Shooting Incident on Ring Road A10, where they revealed this footage but disguised the voices and faces of the perpetrators for unknown reasons. And in releasing this, they asked the public to come forward with any information that could help identify this family. They asked for witnesses on the scene, car repair shops that may have fixed a car with bullet holes, any hospitals that had shooting victims on or around that day.
Nothing.
And most importantly, they asked for the family inside this car to come forward, as without their testimony, convicting these men was nearly impossible, as it wasn't fully clear what crime they'd even committed. That was 11 years ago, and to this day, no one has come forward.
Oh, I thought he was about to be like, yo, we got some new news or some
with
shit.
Only theories. The first theory is that the people shot at in this footage may have been undocumented immigrants, or perhaps one of them had a warrant out for their arrest, meaning that if they were to report this crime, or if they were to have gone to the hospital with a bullet wound, then police would have certainly got involved.
That's such a
and in
weird
turn,
theory.
They would have gotten in trouble as well, essentially forcing them to stay quiet, as saying anything would put their freedom in jeopardy. Another theory is that the shots may have simply missed the vehicle, and the driver decided not to report it.
He didn't shoot. Like, he's literally... Bro, you didn't hear no bullet. All he's doing is this, bro. There's no shots.
With some believing that this whole situation missed it as
am I missing something?
And in turn, they would have gotten in trouble as well.
You don't even see the glass break.
To stay quiet.
You don't see the glass break. Nothing. Nothing at all. And some guns have like, what's it called? Like some light that come out when you shoot. There's nothing out of that.
Another theory is that the shots may have simply missed the vehicle, and the driver decided not to report it, with some believing that this whole situation was no big deal.
Or vanishing a weapon.
But to me, this doesn't seem like something that would be so easily brushed off, especially because...
Wait, they didn't even find a gun? You're lying.
A child is involved, though it is possible that perhaps this family was afraid to report the crime, as they clearly knew how dangerous these men were, and feared that reporting this crime would only further put a target on their backs. And finally, there's the theory that this weapon never fired at all. This is where the audio peaking becomes a major factor, as it's extremely difficult to make out the sound of gunshots, as the gun was literally outside of the vehicle when it was seemingly being fired. But it is worth noting that investigators working the case seemed confident that the weapon fired at least once, and I also personally hear a distinct popping sound at the end.
No, that's the wind. That's why they laughing, bro. If they really did that shit, listen, I'm gonna put y'all on game, bro. If they really did that shit, bro, yes, they probably would have laughed, but, bro, driver dude would have already put his phone away. Like, you out of there, bro. What are you talking about? You're out of there. They didn't shoot shit.
But it's hard to say for sure. And it also is possible that this group was using blanks, with this all being an attempt to trick the other driver into thinking that he was in danger.
Hey, low key.
But even with these theories, we still have no idea the fate that befell this family, and it's clear that they have no desire to come forward.
Man, he would have drove
for
off
reasons
on
we
him.
just don't know. Which leaves the Amsterdam shooting video, an internet mystery that may never be solved.
That one's alright. What's the next one talking about? Hey, the first one still got it though. That shit was low-key a little creepy. When the light went out, oh hell nah. See, bro, oh my.
Urgent, I need help, please. We are from BS
This some Reddit shit?
West Zone, Castelar, San Juan neighborhood. Her name is Emma.
Yo, can we stop blurring the faces, bro? Like, I swear, if the face was just shown, like, it would have made it a little less scarier, bro. Please, gang.
Kalk, who's been missing since Friday neighborhood. Her name is Emma Rosario Kalk.
Somebody
who's been missing since Friday, June 12th. If you saw her, please call. Any information will be appreciated. This post was made to the subreddit r/.
Never mind. Blur the face.
On June 16th, 2020, by a user named u/Naram, who asked for the public's help in finding a missing woman named Emma Kalk. And in the comments, he would offer more context, saying, "She went out to buy something and never came back. She was last seen here."
I know his ass ain't, bro. Out of everything you resort to Reddit, be like, yo, she's missing. Reddit is not helping you. Shit, unless they do. I don't know. But, bro, really?
Text. saying, "She went out to buy something and never came back. She was last seen here in the neighborhood. Sanchez and Pavan is the area where she went to buy something. She was dressed in the clothes that she's seen in the photo. She was carrying her wallet with her ID and a cell phone." Quickly, the post was inundated with concerned citizens wanting to help in the matter, with the gravity of the situation being made even greater, as earlier that day, Naram had made a similar post, which revealed that Emma Kolk was actually his mother. This revelation only made the post more important, as people left comments offering support and encouragement, with many even providing advice on how he could potentially track her down, to which Naram seemed genuinely grateful. Across the entire internet, this seems to be the first post ever made on Emma's disappearance.
Bro, you know what type of crash out I have, bro? What the fuck?
But it would be far from the
Nigga, your mom go missing? No trace at all? What are y'all doing, bro?
last, as people spread this information far and wide almost immediately after Naram's post, which was also followed by several local news reports, which proved that Emma was in fact a real person and was in fact missing, with these articles mentioning something that her son had not.
Bro, I feel like some missing posters are fake, bro. Like sometimes at my Walmart, bro, there's like this bathroom. I swear to God, there's like 50 fucking flyers of a random person missing, bro. And it says like the date, time, place, what they was wearing. Like how is there 50 people missing? There's no way, bro.
She was feared to have been taken. The only thing we know for sure is that she went into her house, left her bike, and for some reason went out but did not come back in. Apparently, she did not leave on purpose, and that is what worries us the most. Things were clearly very concerning, and the tension of the situation only increased as the day passed.
What place is this, bro?
And then too, with Naram vowing to keep everyone updated on the status of the search. And sure enough, right after this update, Naram's missing mother...
Oh, we are from BS8? I don't even know where the hell that is.
...would finally be found.
Oh, Dad, let me guess. Dad, GG.
The worst news, Emma Rosario Kolk was murdered. She had been missing since June 12th. Her son killed her with stab wounds and then buried her in the backyard of his house. He was arrested.
Man, what?
Rest in peace, Emma. Emma Kolk had been found dead, murdered and buried in her own backyard, with the perpetrator allegedly being her own son, Daniel Kolk, who had confessed to stabbing her once in the chest and then twice in the head before burying her body in the backyard, with a motive never being given.
Yo, what
the ending
in the
to Emma's
world?
search was disturbing.
What is wrong with you, bro? What is wrong with you to kill your own moms, bro?
Once in the chest and then twice in the head before burying her body in the backyard, with a motive never being given.
They didn't even give us a motive. Yo, little weird ass, bro. You probably just wanted to play the game all day, but your mom said no, huh? Oh, hell no. And his ass went on Reddit talking about some, guys, I can't find my mom, please help. Why would you, what the fuck is wrong with you, bro?
In the backyard, with a motive never being given. The ending to Emma's search was disturbing, but perhaps the most shocking part was the revelation that she was killed by her own son, 20-year-old
Big ass
Daniel
ears
Kolk,
too, bro.
which immediately called into question Naram's Reddit post, as he had claimed to be Emma's son, leading many to wonder, was Naram the killer? And so, desperate for clarification, someone commented, "By any chance, are you 20 years old?" To which Naram actually responded, writing simply, 25,
Ew, bro.
before eventually leaving the following explanation. Apparently, it was my brother. That's what the police said when they declared the crime. This would mean that when...
Oh, this the different dude. He had a brother. So the brother went on Reddit, but the other son was the one who killed her. Okay.
It was my brother. That's what the police said when they declared the crime. This would mean that when Naram had been making these pleas to find his mother, in reality, not only was she already dead, but she had been killed by his own brother and buried in their backyard. It's one of the most chilling things I've ever come across on Reddit. But the intrigue of this case doesn't exactly end here, as there was something about Naram's story that wasn't quite adding up. Just days before the disappearance of his mother, he had left a comment on an unrelated post saying, "When I was 8 years old, I wanted to ride a bicycle without hands.
Don't piss me off. Don't piss me off.
I was on the street, dirt, and I let go of the handlebars. And here I am at 19 years old, with the handlebars marked on my abdomen." In his own words, Naram wasn't 25, but instead 19 years old, and potentially 20 years old by the time his mother was found, which put him at the exact age range as Daniel Kolk. This prompted a wave of speculation and confusion and spawned the enduring mystery. Who exactly is Naram?
What are we talking
But
about?
making things even stranger, digging deeper into his posting history, you can find another comment where he claims to have been working the same job for 6 years, which seemed to contradict the idea of him being 20, thus prompting even more confusion, which eventually caught Naram's attention, who responded by stating, "I didn't write that. It must have been my brother. I don't use this social network. I only used it twice, for a work issue, and now because my mother disappeared. This account is not mine." This recounting of events made Naram's initial story even more twisted, as if this was true, then not only was it his own brother that killed the mother he was looking for, but he was literally using that same brother's account. And again, this gets stranger. Around the same time, Naram would thank the internet for its help on the case, and then proceed to swiftly disappear, leaving the account untouched for over 2 years. But this silence would be broken in 2022 when they suddenly returned, with their posts being slightly unhinged, gloating about their they suddenly returned, with their posts being slightly unhinged.
I'm going to eat your mom at any moment.
Gloating about their
I'm worried that you're such an idiot that instead of asking, you accept everything Josh says or poor wretch who lies to you. But I'm more worried that I don't even know what the fuck he's talking about.
Internet status, and bizarrely lashing out at random users who questioned him on his past and present motives. And in
Yo, what the fuck is wrong with him?
these ramblings, he would drop the bombshell that he wasn't actually Emma's son. He now claimed to be Daniel's best friend, writing that he allowed Daniel to make the post on his account to spread the news about his mother's disappearance.
What does this mean?
Which he was
What does
completely
this mean?
unaware that Daniel himself
What does this
had
mean?
caused. This was the last real update in this case, and it only threw more fuel on the fire of this mystery, with people wondering what version of events, if any, were true. When I hear about this case today, many seem to believe that the entire time Naram was actually Daniel Kolk, and he had made this post to make it seem like he was searching for his mother, and perhaps to even use any given advice to help conceal what he did.
So what the fuck does the other brother have to do with it then? Like,
As
what?
remember, many were offering suggestions on how to find her, which Daniel in turn could have used to essentially do the exact opposite, to help make sure that she was never found. This is tricky because the account posted briefly after Daniel was supposedly arrested. However, the status of this case is entirely unknown to this day, as there have been no updates as to whether or not Daniel was actually charged, with some choosing to believe that this was him the entire time, and perhaps he was even held in prison for a few years before being released, thus explaining his 2-year absence.
Man, 2 years is crazy.
Another theory is that Naram was initially telling the truth, and that he was Daniel's brother, and that he was simply using the account to spread word of his mother's disappearance, before eventually abandoning it. And perhaps the most recent posting on this account was because it may have been hacked, which would explain the massive tone
Yo, I
shift.
ain't gonna lie, I'm confused, bro.
Or maybe it's the most recent version of events.
I don't
that's
get
the
what's
right
going
one,
on.
and that this is actually Daniel's best friend.
I don't
But
even
why
know.
initially lie? And how do you explain the apparent inconsistencies in his age? that
It's
are found
probably the
throughout his
brother, bro. It's probably the
posts?
brother.
This entire internet mystery is one of the messiest I've ever come across, and nothing seems to make any sense, with the most inexplicable part being the very real murder at its core. A mother who was killed by her own son for no apparent reason, and given the lack of updates, it's hard to know if justice was ever served.
Damn. Why wouldn't it be though? Okay, last one. Here we go. This is the last one. Angeline Pete's final Facebook post. Here we go.
It took several months for Angeline Pete's family to report her as missing.
He love his blurred photos,
She had
bro.
a long history of leaving home for extended periods of
Ooh,
time,
hold on.
running off to join the circus and
Who you?
hitchhiking rides all across the Vancouver area,
Yo,
before eventually
Angeline, what's
returning home
up?
to her normal life. But this time it felt different. None of her friends or family had heard from her since May of 2011.
I ain't gonna lie, I have not been listening. Go back. I was just focusing on how she looked. My fault.
Several months for Angeline Pete's family to report her as missing.
My fault. Go back.
She had a long history of leaving home for extended periods of time, running off to join the circus and hitchhiking rides all across the Vancouver area,
Okay.
before eventually returning home to her normal life. But this time it felt different. None of her friends or family had heard from her since May of 2011, and it was now nearing the end of summer. This was especially odd considering that Angeline was known to be constantly texting, as well as updating her Facebook profile, with that profile now sitting completely dormant. But within that page filled with your typical selfies and normal life updates,
Yeah,
there was
never
one
mind,
post
never mind,
that stood
bro.
out.
Never mind.
The final post she ever made.
Oh, hell
This
no.
photo was posted without context on May 20th, 2011, a day that just so happened to be the very last time that the vast majority of Angeline's friends and family members had heard from her. And when looking into the context of this image, her disappearance only becomes more concerning. That night, Angeline had been drinking with her fiancé Robert Calden in downtown Vancouver, and while the two were waiting to catch a ferry back home, something had sparked an argument, which eventually led to a full-on physical altercation. This fight caused such a stir that eventually police would arrive on the scene, where they noted that Angeline's lip had been busted, leading to them placing Robert under arrest. Though in the end, no charges would ever be filed, as Angeline refused to give officers a statement and instead insisted on just going home, which led to the whole thing seemingly being dropped.
Okay.
It was directly after this that Angeline would post this photo to her Facebook account, without any sort of context, before proceeding to disappear.
Yo, is her lip big as fuck, or is that shit like swollen or some shit? That shit look a little crazy, I don't know.
This photo to her Facebook account, without any sort of context, before proceeding to disappear into thin air. Her motivation for doing this isn't 100% known, but one could assume that she was trying to make a record of this attack, perhaps in case something were to happen to her.
Oh, nah.
The timing of this is more than a little suspicious, and paints a horrifying picture of the potential fate of Angeline.
This always happens.
That she had been murdered by Robert Calden as a result of their fight on the 20th of May.
Of course.
It's a case that seems as straightforward
that's
as
definitely
it is disturbing, but that's only on the surface, as there was another factor at play here, as when the police stopped this couple from fighting on that fateful night, Robert wasn't the only one facing jail time.
What?
Angeline was no stranger to abuse. She had a long history of it herself, with her ex-boyfriend claiming to have suffered dozens of black eyes throughout their relationship, which had ended years prior. This violent behavior often stemmed from her trouble with alcohol, and Robert was clearly one and the same.
Wait, was she beating people up? I probably got 40 black eyes over these years. Once she had 5 or 6 drinks, she had no control. Alright, hey, bro, she probably got herself killed. I ain't gonna cap. Let's see.
Violent behavior often stemmed from her trouble with alcohol, and Robert was clearly one and the same, with the two forming an extremely toxic relationship that often ended in one or both of them getting hurt.
Yeah, I don't know. She
it was
look
all
a little
too
toxic.
normalized for the pair.
She look a little toxic, bro.
By one of Angeline's final
Yo,
tweets,
he said, "Fuck it, I'm tired of this shit." Boom, boom, boom. Beat her ass. Yo.
My lip hurts. I hate him so much that I love him. Now, I do want to make it clear that this is in no way meant to come across as victim blaming.
Yo, if a bitch tell you that, bro, leave her again. I ain't gonna lie, bro.
Now, I do want to make it clear that this is in no way meant to come across as victim blaming, but this is vital information for this case, as Angeline's history with violence had
I hate him so much that hell nah, bro. She liked that toxic shit. She liked when she got her ass beat. She was like, yes, please cut deeper. Cut deeper. Like, yo, yo. That she just died, bro. She's like, oh, I went too deep. I'm sorry. Like,
ended her in prison numerous times. Bro. Most recently in 2009, when she was arrested for getting into a massive bar fight. This arrest in particular is noteworthy, as it carried with it multiple conditions. One of which was that Angeline was given a 9 p.m. curfew, and the other was that she was not allowed to drink, with both of these conditions being broken on the night of May 20th.
Oh yeah, you're bound to get arrested.
In Robert's fight. This meant that Angeline was now likely going to be reincarcerated, and sure enough, that same night, officers arrived at her home to question her on the matter, but she failed to answer the door, which led to a warrant being made for her arrest 5 days later on May 25th. That day, a squad car pulled up to Angeline's apartment to bring her into custody, but when police entered the home, they would only find Robert, who just so happened to be on the phone with her. And officers claimed to have spoken with Angeline during that phone call, where they advised her to turn herself in, though she claimed that she was no longer in the area, and eventually hung up the phone. This would be the last time that officers would speak to Angeline Pete, and seemingly according to Robert, she returned home and left the next day.
Yo, bro, thank you for reminding me. Matter of fact, bro, I did it. Bro, tell me why. Tell me why I knew to do it, bro. And I was like, fuck, this should look a little complicated. I'm gonna save it for later. Damn, hold on. This should still look a little complicated. I'm gonna save it for later. Then I never remembered again, bro. And now I randomly see people talking about, yo, I just got $5,200, bro, $200. But I heard you can still do it till July 10th or some shit. I'm doing it. I gotta remember. Thank you for reminding me, bro. Yo, thank you for reminding me, bro. That shit slipped out my mind. Yo, that shit slipped out my mind. How much you got paid, bro? Bro, don't piss me off, bro. I swear if you say 200 and up. How much you got paid? How much, bro? Like, I don't even know how that shit worked though. Like, do you just say a random amount and they send you however much? 92. How much money you put in though? Did you say you spent 92 or do you put higher? Like, you know when you say I had that account for like 3 years, bro. Imagine I ain't gonna lie, I don't even know. Like, I feel like I could finesse and say 200 on some shit. Bro, oh my gosh, I hope, bro. You put how much V-Bucks you bought. Okay, bro, I might go like in depth, like track that shit down to the specific amount, so I could secure my bag, bro. Cause in PlayStation you could check all your purchases. So I put like, wait, what? You put $13,000? Wait, what? What are you talking about? Wait, what? Oh, you put 1,300 V-Bucks. Wait, what? So you gotta track it by V-Bucks, not the price? Cause bro, I'm trying to get my bag from Fortnite, bro. And you get to keep everything. That's fire.
On the 26th and never came back.
Thank you for letting me know, bro. I definitely forgot that shit. Yo, why does she have all these random photos, bro? It's not the same woman.
And provides us with our second theory.
How long it took you to do the whole process though? Cause bro, like I swear I see that auto writing and shit. I get so demotivated.
That Angeline Pete had run away to avoid reincarceration. But there's something unusual to me about this phone call with police.
Took me 5 minutes. Oh shit, bet.
About this case online, but from all the articles that I've read, it seems
I'm gonna do it later tonight. I'm gonna do it later tonight.
After this photo was taken,
I'll put like 200.
With the exception of Robert.
And I don't even know how much
with her, it was
till like 7 months.
Only over.
Oh my gosh, 7 months from now is what? 5, bro. That's like February, March, April.
Phone. They too hadn't laid eyes on her since the night of May 20th.
February, March, April is crazy.
Prompting some to wonder if Robert had arranged for some sort of decoy to make this phone call.
Oh, no.
Though, however it happened, since that phone call, there's been no activity on any of Angeline's online accounts, and she's never deposited or spent a single cent from her bank account. From that point on, she's been essentially invisible.
You might as well get your shit, bro. I might invest that shit, bro.
And today, we still have no concrete answers as to what happened to Angeline Pete, with some taking this as a sign that something sinister had in fact happened to her. Is how can you go that long without leaving a trail, and without at least trying to come back?
But I don't even know what's going on right now.
Especially in Angeline's case, as she was a mother.
Wait, she was a mom?
Angeline had a 7-year-old son who was by far the most important
Yo, this
thing
dude keeps
in her
pulling
life.
out shit.
At the time she went missing, this child was staying with her father, Angeline's former partner, but she still played an incredibly active role in his life, and she wanted to be as involved as she possibly could be. And yet, after 15 years, she's made no attempts to try and reach out to him. Again, people have taken this as a sign that Angeline has perhaps been killed. And it isn't just Robert who they think might have done this, as some believe that she may have been killed
what are you showing me, bro?
Someone that neither they nor Angeline even knew. As I mentioned previously, Angeline had a habit of hitchhiking, and she was known to do so in a way that was overtly dangerous. And interestingly, there were some unconfirmed sightings of Angeline after she went missing, with some reportedly seeing her in Port Hardy and Grand Prairie,
that's probably how she died,
areas that she would have had to catch a ride to. Now again, these are totally unconfirmed sightings, but what's so chilling about this is that if she had been hitchhiking through those areas, then she likely would have found herself doing so along Highway 16, which is now known as the Highway of Tears. Without getting too deep into this stretch of road is notorious.
I'm not gonna lie, I think I noticed. Hold on.
For its disproportionately high number of women who have gone missing on it, and especially indigenous women.
I think I heard of
this
before,
disproportionately high.
I think I heard of this. The highway go like this. The highway go like this. It's like on a mountain, and they go like these. It's GG, bro. She definitely died from this. Is her name on here? She probably on here. Bro, why they all look young as hell?
Women who have gone missing on it, and especially indigenous women, with Aboriginal organizations claiming that as many as 40 indigenous women.
What if they refund you the exact amount that you did spend though? Bro, there's no way you only got 92, bro. There's no way out of all your 3 years you only spent 1,300.
Killed or kidnapped while on this stretch of road. And coincidentally, Angeline was an indigenous woman herself, who may have found herself hitchhiking on that very road.
GG. We know what happened to her, bro. You can end it now.
Angeline's disappearance is one of those cases that you can convince yourself that every theory is right.
Hey, that gotta be Photoshopped.
As of right now, there's just no way to know what really happened to her. And while this is an internet mystery for us, for Angeline's family, this couldn't be what really happened.
Why they put a tattoo of butterfly on chest, bro? What if you find somebody who look like her and be like, hold up, I gotta check if there's a tattoo on you. If there's a butterfly on your chest, can I please peek? She like, no. What are you talking about? No, you can't see. I gotta check. I gotta see. Like, bro, what? Let me unmute it.
Internet mystery for us.
That's a mom or something. Why they got that? Yo, she got put on the shirt. They all got. I'm sorry, it's not funny. It's not
For
funny.
Angeline's family, this couldn't be more real. Many of them are suspicious about Robert and believe that police didn't do a good enough job investigating him, as he was never even considered a suspect. But they also hold
Bro,
out
but
hope
like,
that
imagine
Angeline is still
waking up
alive and out
a
there
random
somewhere,
morning,
and they'll often
seeing
hold
plus
events and vigils
200.
to keep her name in the spotlight,
Like, that gotta be
and to
one of the
assure
best
she knows
feelings.
that she can always come back home. And it's this hope that has fueled her son since she disappeared, as all throughout his childhood he played hockey as a way of helping to find her, with one family member saying, "That's why he wants to play hockey. So if he gets famous, his mom will find him."
Gang. Yeah, she'll find you after you die, bro. Your mom is not here no more, bro. And how would she even get close to you if you so famous? If you have information on the word, damn, this shit for real. Oh, damn. Last seen February 3rd, you're cooked. Bro, it's been, what, 6 years? Pandemic happened and everything. You gotta be, what, 15 or some shit? It's over. That's dead ass what happened. I came home from Mexico yesterday and I just seen a letter, bro. I was in that juice. My boy was, let's go, 90. Yo, what you spend 92 on, bro? Be for real. Keep it a bug. What you spend that 92 on? That was a good video. That was a good video, bro. I feel like the most scariest one, though, I ain't gonna cap, it was the first one. Probably because I was, like, not ready for it, and that shit just caught me off guard, or maybe it was just the scariest, but I feel like that was the most scariest. Out of all the other ones, I feel like it's pretty debunked, you know? The second one wasn't really scary. I feel like they didn't even shoot. The third one, what was it? What was the third one about? Oh, this dude killed his mom. You know what I'm saying? That happens. Serial killers be going around and shit. And this woman just died by hiking, and some dudes just probably took her, and she's taken away, bro. That's it, GG. The first story is so concerning. Thank you, right? Regarding the girl knocking on the door, when she turns and faces the bush, the person might have been like, "It sounds like a lot. Sounds like a lot," she said. They won't open the door, which further cements the idea that they might have been plotting something. Hell yeah, they did, bro. Hell yeah, they did. Anyways, let me know how y'all like that video and shit. And yeah, bro, make sure you hit that like button. Let me know if there's other videos y'all do want me to react to, other short films, other scary shit, other anything, bro, other music, anything. This shit was 41 minutes. Hey, my PC still holding strong. Let's go. But hell yeah, bro. Make sure y'all subscribe, man. Peace.